Hi, welcome. So in this video, we are going to look at how to create charts in Excel. So remember, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So we are going to show you how to create charts using the functions in Excel. So charts are very interesting because it's really, people don't understand millions and millions of rows of data, but what they could understand easily is maybe a pie chart or a bar chart, which summarizes everything, and in one picture or one image you're able to get the insight that you want. So let's just go straight and see how to do charts in Excel. So I'll just create a new sheet and then I'll call that charts, basic charts. So let me just quickly and get some data in here, so we can just get the name, maybe the name, sales, budget, and then performance. So those are the headers. Press enter, then we get Peter, and then we go to 10,000, maybe 12,000 was the budget, and then the performance would be we'll get the division of that. Andrew sold 20,000, and then the objective was 20,000, and then we'll get the percentage. Michael, 30,000. So you can just enter this along with me so that you're able to have almost the same figures like I do. So Regina sold 40,000, then we have 45,000, and then we have Mark, 50,000, and the objective was 55,000. We have Rita, 1,800, and then we have Cynthia, 60,000, and then 55,000. So let's just do some formula here. I'll just go here, just do some basic formula here. So here's the performance, and here I'll just say equal to the sales on the budget. So let's just convert this to percentage. Go here, home, go to percentage. So the performance is 83%. So that's that. So if you remember, we looked at our formatting earlier, so you might just get that there. You can go back and review that video just to be able to do the basic things to make it look a bit better. So again, here you can also get the numbers, and then you do like that. So these are things that we looked at in the earlier video, so you can always go back and check on this basic formatting. So now when we click here, if we want to create a chart, so you just need to select the data, then you go to insert, and then you would have here, the first thing you will see will be recommended charts. And if you click on this recommended charts, let me just increase this so we can see better. Click on this recommended charts. You see already charts that are recommended for you, and most of the time the charts are like most of the time they are like what you would want. So let me see, there is a figure here. I just noticed that with the chart still. So now it looks okay. So let's get that there. Select, go again to recommended charts, and then you can see here it's already proposing some interesting charts. So this already looks interesting. And remember, we are going to talk of visualization in a subsequent video. So the next video I'm going to give you the principles of how to decide which chart to use for which specific purpose, so that you know when to use a pie chart or a bar chart or the others. So for now, this looks good, but remember the recommended charts would have given you lots of options and for you to choose from. But when you know the basics of the visualization, you know what to choose, what's appropriate for the data. So here, if you don't want the recommended charts, then you can see here that each of them, these are column and bar charts. So if you wanted, you could pick one of these stacked charts, 3D charts. So this is stacked 100%. So stacked like this. These are based on the different types of visualization options you or the objectives you have. So we'll look at that in the next video. So now you see there are different. You could have gotten a line chart out of this. Will it be appropriate? That's what we'll look at in the next video. And then you have histograms. So here you can really select what you want. So if you came like to the recommended still, here if you go to all charts still, you will still have an access to this, like this, the line chart, how it look like, the pie chart of this, the bar chart, area chart, scatter plot, map, stock, surface, radar, tree map, histogram, box plot, waterfall, funnel. So these are just and there's combo here which we'll look at. So these are just different charts you can produce here. So let's go with what looks good. It looks like the clustered column chart will be good for our purpose. So let's click on it. Okay, so for now I want to just show you some basic things with chart in Excel, like the title, like how to change the display. So one of the major things which will be helpful to you is this add chart element here. So this will be able to help you customize your charts. But before going there, when you have a chart like this, so you can still select like here, you can click here, and then I select, okay, for example, let's leave out that data. The performance will come to that. So just by dragging, you're able to select or deselect certain range. So the chart only concerns sales, budget, and that's all. Same as if you wanted to add it, you could add it like this, for example, and you get it in. So let's just go back with it, keep it, we'll add it later. So this is what we have here right now. So we see that here is the sales, actual sales, and here is the budget. So there are some people who are performing, most are performing below their budget. There are some who are performing above the budget. There are some who are performing almost equal to the budget. So with this visualization, you're able to clearly understand better this data that is in figures. Maybe it could have been millions and millions of rows, but with this, in 1 second, you can already know who actually made the highest sales. Clearly, just look at it in 1 second and you know, for example, Cynthia did the highest, and then maybe Rita did the lowest sale. So that's it. Now let's go to how to make this look like what you want. So remember, in Excel, whenever you have an object, there is always the tools that appear. So if I click out here, I don't see anything concerning charts here or how to edit the charts. But as soon as I click on the chart, now the chart tools appear. So I could either go to chart design or I could go to format, for example. So let's go to chart design, and the first thing is the first basic thing to know is you can choose the different designs from here. First of all, like the layout, like, okay, this, I like this, maybe this one or this or this. But then what was there is okay. So choose whatever looks comfortable for you. And then now let's use this add chart element here. So the first thing, if you go through this, the first thing is the axis. So you just click and you see how it's going to change the chart. So the primary axis, if I go back here, when I click on this, and here, if I click on this, I don't see the names anymore. And if I click on this, I don't see the figures anymore. So is that something you want to communicate? We want to leave it like that, or is that how you want to communicate your data? It depends. It depends on the context and maybe the other slides or the other information that you already have around it, or the comments that you're going to make, or the presentation or the audience. So here. But now you know that if you don't want to see the the figures on the y-axis, the 10,000, the 20,000, the 70,000, you can click here and it goes away. Or and also same as if you don't want to see the names like the Peter, Andrew, Michael, Regina, you click here and they all go away. Now that's what the axis does. Let's go to axis title. So you like, okay, where do you want the title to be for the axis? So do you want the x-axis to have its own title? Is that necessary? And do you want maybe the y-axis to have its own title, like the maybe the revenue or amounts? So that's something that this one does, and you need to decide on your use case. Now, chart title. You don't want any chart title? Maybe you already have the title of a slide above and you don't need a second title here, or you need one. Or and where do you want it to be? Do you want it to be center? Do you want it to be above? So it's just here to manipulate that. So for me, I want a title, and I might say, for example, sales performance, for example, per staff. Depends if these are staff or these are partners or whatever. But then this is an example of what you could use like a title here. So we notice the performance of each of these staff, and this is the sales, actual sales, and this is the actual budget. So that's that. Let's go back here, continue here. This is very important when you want to understand charts. So data labels. Now here for now there is none. If I click on this, I can have now data labels, say center, inside base, outside, call out. So this, do I need these data labels? Should I put, maybe let's say for example, should I put data labels and then go back and to here and then say, okay, I don't need them here again on the right? So that is also a choice to make based on the audience. So I would go back to data labels and I'll put none and leave it like that. If I just want somebody to quickly view and get an idea of what is going on, not necessarily the details. Maybe there's a more detailed report that is accompanying this one, so you don't need that level of detail. But if you don't have another detailed report accompanying this one, then you might need to share the figures. So it just depends on the audience and how much detail they need at a specific time, because you also have data table. So if you go to data table, you can send the do this chart actually with the data alongside with it, like for example with legend keys, if you see here. So you have, if you have none, and then if you have this, you have the sales and the budget, or you have this and you tell you, okay, we actually know the real figures that Cynthia had, we actually know the real figures that Rita had. But maybe if you are just doing something like overview, you might not need to also attach that data table alongside this chart. Let's move on then again. So you have something like error bar. This might not be so you might not need this much in this chart, but some other charts might be very, very important for you. And then you have grid lines if you want grid lines here, and or maybe legend if you want to have the legend or not. So when we don't, let's say for example we had the legend, it was below. Now if we say no legend, then we go back to the data table here. So if we put now this one now maybe with legend, so this could be in combination of there is no legend, but this data table comes with all the legend and the data alongside with it. So it depends on the level of detail, depends on your audience, depends on how your whole communication, the story you want to tell is linked. So this is part of your storytelling decision making, which is one of your main core skills as a data analyst. So if you do that now, you can decide that maybe there is the legend, there is maybe you put get back the legend, and then you take off the data table, and then you also can have a trend line. This would be good if you have something like some scatter plot or some time series, so you can be able to see the trend. So yeah, so that's something that helps you to be able to have the basic navigation and be able to change your charts as you wish, and maybe color them. You can decide to color this. Remember, you just maybe need to go to home, remember, again, like we did in the early videos, or you change the font color. So you just, the whole thing is whenever you're out of an object like this in Excel, nothing is being activated, but as soon as you click on it, you have all these options for formatting, change. You can also change the things here, change whatever you want here, or you can decide to, change things, and or you can decide to go to the chart design. And then now chart design, you have the different options that we just showed here. So these are and then you can also right click here, format axis. So when you go to format axis, you might decide that this is the minimum of the axis. So maybe the minimum is 5,000, for example. Minimum is 5,000. See, it's the chart starts from 5,000 and goes up to 65,000. Maximum is 65,000. So you might decide what you want here, and then the units, maybe the major units are 10,000 each, and the minor units are 2,000 each. So these are just different things you can do to be able to make your chart maybe more interesting. So these are things you can manipulate here. So you just need to take your time, go through this, and see what are the things you can customize here to better improve on your chart, so that you're able to communicate the value that you want. So display units, do you want to display them in hundreds or thousands? So if I take them in thousands, so I have them now in thousands, so 5,000, 15,000, 25,000. Or if I want to display them in maybe millions, you see, it's yeah, this will not be appropriate. Maybe the closest would be in thousands, so maybe 5, 15, 25, 60,000. And then this may be accompanied with this again, that you wanted to have your labels. Maybe you wanted to have labels here, for example. So this is just these are just options, and then maybe you take off this one and put them in 1,000. So you have lots of flexibility. All you need to do is just click on this chart, go to either format, chart design, which is here, or right click, and then you go to maybe other format, chart axis, and then you have lots of things here. Fill color, what color do you want to fill, and the borders, how do you want the borders to be, different colors. So just play with it, be able to try, do, see how it changes and undo. And this is one of the good things about Excel, because you're able to see what you do each time you change something. And whereas in other programming languages, you just write code and then you get the result. But now Excel, you can drag and drop, and I mean you easily start getting the concepts together. So now let's look at one last chart before we go. So this is what we have so far. Now imagine that we wanted to pull this. Now we don't see this performance, the percentages, and we wanted to know who is the most performant staff in terms of the objectives that were set and the sales that were attained. So like this, we can't see it clearly because maybe each person had a different region and the market potential for each region is completely different. So we want to see the performance, the objectives versus the actual. Now, a very good chart to use is combo chart. I think it came out, is it Excel 2013 or 16? But from the below that, you don't have this option. But from, I think, Excel 2016 and above, you have that option. So you can go to your here, and then if you go to recommended charts, for example, if you go down here, if you go to all charts here, you'll see a combo chart. And when you click on that combo chart, this is what you get. Now, there is the performance. You can't see here. The budget is there, sales. So to do that, if we go back to the combo chart here, like where we were here. So you can decide to have a secondary axis, which I'll just show you, then I'll explain it to you. So if the secondary axis is this, you see, it changes everything, because what are you saying? This primary axis was in numbers, and maybe 1% is 0.01, so you never see it appearing here. But with a combo chart, you can be able to have a primary axis in another value or with another range. These are in numbers, and a secondary axis in percentages, for example. So with this now, if I click on OK, you see that we are able to see clearly. If I take off these labels so that it's not confusing. So I'll go back again here. Remember, I go to chart design, go to data labels, none, and then select this one because I selected just one. Select this blue again, go back to data labels and take none. So both all have no data labels right now. So if you see from this combo chart, we can clearly see that the most performant in terms of sales versus budget is Rita. But before, we weren't able to see it clearly because it was not easy to separate. Maybe you'll be thinking of Andrew, you would have been thinking of but then with this combo chart, you see, we are able to clearly know who is the most performant, and this is one of the powerful this is how powerful visualization can be, and this is what being able to master how to do charts like this, do good visualization, is able to instantly tell and point our eyes or give us the instant fact or information we need to clearly say this is the most performant person with this 125% performance of budget versus sales. So it's very important, and that's why in the next video we are going to look at when to choose some of these charts, like the pie chart, the bar chart, just give you some tips, and over time with your practice and your experience and based on your audience, you'll be able to know which one to use. So I hope you enjoy this video where you learned how to build basic charts, how to select charts, and how to maybe adjust or modify charts to your specific taste, like changing legends or axes, naming, and being able to do an interesting chart which came out from, I think, Excel 2013 or Excel 2016, the combo chart, which is able to give you both the primary axis and the secondary axis, and then you can be able to compare maybe two different things which are related, but if they put them on the same scale, they might not be very, very visible. So hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. See you next video. Wish you good data love.